Okie dokie, hello. So testing in Bahrain is now over. The 3 days flew by and it's just over a week until lights out now. So let's take a look at which teams had a good test and which didn't. I'm going to go through team by team and look at each one's testing performance and what to expect from them. So I'll go through the teams in what I think will be the pecking order for this year. So starting at the back, I think Williams will have the slowest car on the grid because their rivals from last year, Alfa Romeo and Haas, are benefiting from that new Ferrari engine. Anyway, Williams' car is largely undeveloped too, and George Russell has said how there's no signs that they've closed the gap to the midfield, and that the car is drivable. The car is drivable. That's what he said. The car's drivable. However, there's not a pace advantage there. They haven't really developed on last year, and they've gone for a slightly different aero design this year as well. And they've said how that could mean they've got a yo-yo effect, which means they'll be very good at some tracks and not very good at other tracks. But overall, I think they're going to have the slowest car coming out of testing. I mean, obviously you can't really tell so much from testing anyway, but the reliability was there to start with, and they put in some good miles on Sunday, George Russell especially. However, like I said, I don't think the pace is going to be there. Right, so I think Haas is going to be next, and Haas have completely, pretty much not developed their car from last year. But they do have the new Ferrari power unit, which is a big bonus for them. Once again, it was a solid pre-season test from Haas. You know, there weren't too many issues, weren't too many mistakes. But again, like Williams, the pace wasn't really there, and we know the car isn't developed from last year. They've got an all-rookie lineup in Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin, and they both didn't make any mistakes, which is good to see. But it could be a long year for them. Both drivers put in good mileage as well. The car looked reliable. Next up, we'll do Alfa Romeo. So Kimi Raikkonen put in lots of laps. He put in 166 laps on the final day, I think, which is a very good tally. And it shows that Alfa Romeo are reliable. However, there's a feeling that they haven't really got much pace. Out of the back teams, if there's any team that's going to close up to the midfield, it's Alfa Romeo. And they've got the potential to do so, definitely. Because like I said, it showed good reliability, and I guess the pace wasn't too bad, but once again, it's very hard to tell. But yeah, I actually thought Alfa Romeo had a very good pre-season test. It wouldn't surprise me if they actually are mixing it in the midfield. And of course, their livery looks good, and Alfa Romeo are an iconic name. I'd love to see them do well. Right, and now to the midfield. So the noise out of pre-season test is that the field has, for 2021, gotten so much closer. There's a very small delta between the teams. I think the next team we're going to discuss are going to be Alpine. They've gone for a radical airbox design, very wide. I'll put a picture up. They've got Fernando Alonso back, the return of the two-time champion. Everyone's excited to see this, and he fitted in seamlessly to that Alpine, hitting every apex, every braking zone. Karun Chandok, Sky commentator, said if you put a pound coin on the inside of every corner, you hit it every single lap. He's that good of a driver, and he showed that he's still got the skill, and the Alpine car has potential speed, but I think the teams above them have potential to go faster. And again, Alpine looked reliable. Fernando Alonso also said after day 2 that the car felt good, which is a very positive sign. So I'm actually going to discuss Aston Martin next. I think they'll be next in line when it comes to pace, and they had an indifferent pre-season test. Now, they said it was productive, yet Sebastian Vettel had quite a few reliability issues, especially day 2 and day 3, with gearbox, powertrain, whatnot. They had quite a few reliability issues, which cut down his running significantly. However, Vettel said he's confident going into 2021, as he should be, because he's an experienced driver, and Aston Martin are, maybe will be in a few years, are a good team. Positive side note is that they are reliable, and when Lance Stroll got in the car, he actually showed some very good pace. So once again, we'll see with Aston. Now next up, and this is a surprise to me, even me, AlphaTauri. They've had a very good pre-season, very productive, and showed some very good pace, with Gasly picking up where he left off last year, and new rookie Yuki Tsunoda looking very strong as well. Now, Yuki Tsunoda was probably the standout man from pre-season testing, setting very good pace across every and each time he stepped in the car. Apart from, I think, one spin, he set very good pace every time he stepped in the car, showing the potential in that AlphaTauri, because I think it is a major step forward from last year, and he could be really mixing it at the top of the midfield this year. Right, so next I'm going to put Ferrari, and I've been giving it the big in the last few weeks about how I think they're going to be right at the front. After pre-season testing, it doesn't look that way. I think they'll be stronger than they were last year, but I don't think they'll be competing for wins this year. You know, maybe the odd podium. Once again, they had an indifferent pre-season test, with Charles Leclerc on the first day breaking down, not an ideal start. However, Carlos Sainz said that he feels comfortable in the car and feels at home. So I think the jury's out on Ferrari's performance. Maybe they were sandbagging a bit, who knows, we don't know the fuel loads. Big positive for Ferrari is they say they're confident that straight line speed is no longer their disadvantage. They've got that all new power unit, which like I said will benefit Haas and Alfa Romeo. But a new power unit, they say, means that straight line speed is no longer their disadvantage. And this can make all the difference in terms of their performance. So like I said, the jury's out, but I think they'll be top of the midfield. Now, in terms of the front, I'm actually going to make a big statement here and say that McLaren are no longer part of the midfield, and they're going to be right at the front with Mercedes and Red Bull. So coming in third, we're going to put McLaren. They had a very good pre-season test, looked very strong, and they've got a very strong lineup of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. Two great drivers, young and upcoming, mixed with experienced and proven winner. And they're very strong, like I said, looked reliable, didn't have many hiccups, and completed all their practice programs with good pace and really challenged Red Bull and Mercedes, and there's a real feeling that they're going to be right up there this year. They've also got that brand new diffuser, they found a loophole in the regulations, similar to what Braun did in 2009, but they brought something radical, which shows that the culture of McLaren is changing. They're becoming a winning team again. I think it's a really positive sign. Of course, both drivers said they were very happy with how the 3 days went. In terms of the best car and who looked the strongest, it's very hard to choose between Red Bull and Mercedes. You can never discount Mercedes, they are the world champions of course, and they will be strong, but their pre-season test was nothing short of a disaster. So I'm going to put them second. They got the second best car when it comes to the first race in just over a week. They were plagued with reliability issues from the word go. Lewis Hamilton also had 2 spins over the course of the 3 days. Very uncharacteristic from him, and it backs up what Bottas said about the car being snappy and unforgiving. Lewis even conceded that they just simply don't have the pace this year, and that Red Bull are a different animal. Whether he's just playing it up to it, who knows. And they're definitely sandbagging to an extent, but we don't know to what extent that is. Don't get me wrong, they'll be very strong in Bahrain. They may even have the best car, but from what we saw from testing, probably their most challenging testing yet since 2013, 2014. It's been a hard pre-season for them, but I guess all will be revealed in a week's time. And finally, Red Bull. They had probably their best pre-season test ever, and they looked to be the strongest. Showed good reliability and very good pace. Had a very good 3 days. Sergio Perez, new driver, says that he's comfortable within the car. He's comfortable, he likes it. And Max Verstappen says he's very happy as well. I think the regulation changes for this year, the small ones to the rear of the car, I think they've actually suited Red Bull, and they've managed to fix those rear end issues they had last year because they were sliding about all over the place. And like I said, they look the strongest. Nothing more to it. I mean, that's how it is. I know it's only testing, so you can't make any predictions or assumptions because we don't know the fuel loads, we don't know how much they're pushing, but that's what I've taken from pre-season testing. That order could be completely wrong, but for sure the midfield is so much closer this year. I mean, there's hardly anything in it. It's very hard to choose between those teams, and we could see an immense fight this year. And so yeah, that's a pre-season test report. That's how it went for all the teams. That's how they're looking now, heading into the first race in just over a week's time, also in Bahrain. So if you're watching, drop a comment. What do you think? If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And you've been watching Mr. Formula 1, and I'll see you soon.